Okay, so no more preamble. Last week before, whatever it is for you, we talked about MyScene's. Oh, everything's tight. MyScene's Jammin' in Jamaica, their first movie. I dumbly, simply, in a way that shows off how me-centric I am, thought that, oh yes, if it says it's the first movie and that's the first time I encountered this media, it must be the first step. This is number one. Wrong. It is like, it's like episode 6. It's like episode 9. It's like 8.5 and a half. It is, I jumped into the middle with no explanation and then was surprised when I was confused. And honestly, I'm still confused because I am what? An idiot. But we are going to rectify that by not reading the wiki yet. I want to wait until the end to read the wiki because I don't want to be spoiled, because that's the thing about media that is looking back on a historical context instead of as something that is something I'm actively learning about, is the fact that a lot of like supplemental material about said form of media tends to be very like, okay, so you're like settling an argument and you're like, I'm gonna go to the wiki, and thus it talks about things that I'm not ready to receive yet. Am I treating this like serious media? Yes, because I'm a self-serious bitch. So let's begin our dissection of episodes, Webisodes 1 through 8. The MyScene's like online webisodes. Into the front. Straight from the MyScene's wiki. MyScene's is a web series that ran from 2002 to 2008 on myscene.com. The website is unusable as of 2022, so I'm just going to watch them on YouTube. I'm going to watch all the episodes up to Jammin' in Jamaica, which is up to episode 8, so I don't... So, these episodes are really short. Like, I believe the first one... I don't even have how long they were. I think it was like 2 minutes. I don't even know. They're so short. But, you know, they're establishing character. Not really. But they're establishing things. Where things are being established. So, we start out with episode 1. Episode 1, Lost or Found. The animation quality is even lower than the movie was. And the movie was okay for the time period. But it is, you know, spongy. It is bouncing as compared to the webisode, which is essentially crinkle cut flash animation. I call it crinkle cut because it's less like someone took the time to, you know, draw on screen and like digital a character with... I understand it was hard. I also had you know, attempting to draw with a mouse is very hard, and it's a learned skill that should be, you know, treated with respect that it often isn't. However, it is amazing, honestly, stunning how crinkle cut, like you were using cardboard and you put layers of cardboard together to get these characters. They're like chunky, square cut in detail and design in these episodes. And, you know, I would have loved to watch them on the original MyScene's website, but of course, Flash was killed like a baby in its cradle with a pillow over the face at the end of 2020. So, you know, these are videos that someone lovingly found, you know, took back in 2006, 2008, and then lovingly uploaded them to YouTube for people to enjoy. They have descriptions of what's actually happening in these videos, but of course I did not read them because I do not read. I do not do the prior reading. I'm all balls to the wall making inferences. So of course I have no clue what's happening. There's still lots of inferences in my notes, but we are trying actively. Episode 1, Lost or Found. Even lower quality flash animation. Barbie leaves her cell phone in a taxi. And she goes up to Madison and Chelsea and are just like, oh my god, I left my cell phone. But the guy who's getting into the taxi that I was leaving, super hot. They're like, girl, you gotta call him. So she calls her own number because back in the 2000s, you actually had to know your own phone number in case this kind of shit happened. And he comes up and Chelsea recognizes him and is like, oh, I know your girlfriend, so don't flirt with Barbara. And Barbie's like, I will not be flirting with this man who has a girlfriend. And end of episode. Episode 2, next stop. Chelsea is waiting for the subway. She quick changes her outfit before her stop. She gets on the subway and she's just cutting up clothing. She changes her like standard outfit, like her fuzzy coat and like the into a mini skirt with fuzzy like details on it, with cuffs and stuff. And Barbie's like, how dare you? Why did you change your outfit? A man from a band, assumed to be River, because he kind of looked like River, but everyone's so low poly and chunky that the only people who you can be fully assured are actually like characters that, you know, are people that say exactly who they are. So a man walks up and is like, hey, can you give me a makeover? You're pretty styling. She's like, yes, I can. And then his friend walks up and she's like, and I could fix him too. And it's like, rawr, I guess. All right, another end of episode. I'm spending either more time or equal amount of time on these episodes as the actual webisode did. All right, episode 3. Does she buy it? Madison and Barbie are shopping, and Madison finds a cute top. It's snatched up by someone. We later learn this person to be Noli. And it is snatched up by a familiar face. In the next scene, at a club, it turns out that she dragged this other girl. She's like straight up like, it isn't your color. It's like, fuck you. That other girl to give a gift to Chelsea. The other girl is at the club and is like, that really is your color. Because, you know, MyScene is all about friendship and fashion between the girls. You know, Bratz adjacent. Madison then flirts with the DJ and jams out all night. Good for her. Good for her. Episode 4. Game On. They're hanging around. The main cast and Noli are, you know, hanging out. Some boys are loudly casing and categorizing some of the girls. And then I believe Chelsea and Madison walk up behind them. No, Madison and Barbie walk up and they greet Noli. This one was super short. It was 17 seconds long. They look embarrassed because they're casing girls and their lady friends are like, you're being gross. Don't be pigs. This episode introduces Hudson and Bryant. We do not meet Bryant. Brian is not in the band. I think we finally know who Hudson is. I think Hudson's the drummer. I came to that conclusion last night as I was editing. Okay, episode 5, Rumor Have It. We meet at East Village Records, where Madison and Noli are shopping for records. They're talking about boys. And then Hudson, I believe, Bryant walks up. They all look so similar because their faces. The only one who looks different is River because he has a goatee, and Sutton because he's black. And Ellis isn't introduced yet. So Bryant walks up behind her and hears them talking, and Madison's like, oh, what do you think about Bryant? She's like, Brian's okay. And then she sees a record and she's like, oh, baby, I'm in love, name of a 70s album. Brian's like, oh my god, she soups into me. How hot, how sexy. He then proceeds to tell, I'm sorry, my note says, Bryant is that curly-haired fuck that we met. It's from earlier. I have not met this curly-haired fuck yet. Okay, so Hudson goes off to he goes and asks Barbie, and Barbie takes him asking the question about if they're dating or not as fact, and then tells other people. And then finally, in a game of telephone, as Madison tells Chelsea, Noli walks up with Bryant and is like, I didn't know we were dating. And he looks embarrassed. Okay, episode 6, Night on the Town. Everyone has dates, Chelsea, Barbie, and Madison. And they're going shopping to find fancy dresses. While they're out, River sees them shopping and is like, oh crap, we need to match their energy. So he calls up the boys and they do a fashion show, fashion montage. We love a makeover montage. Sutton has appeared, so we have the boys are matched up so far as, you know, River to Barbie, obviously. Madison to Sutton, because likes to like, you know, blacks to blacks. And Hudson to Chelsea. So they got the montage. And after the date, they pick up, the girls are excited because they see the boys put in some effort. After the date, the next day, the boys are worried because anything that could go wrong when you're on a date went wrong. Sutton is British. River is worried. He ripped his pants dancing. Madison and Sutton are dating. Madison and Sutton are dating. And Sutton had food stuck in his teeth. Hudson poured his drink on Chelsea. However, the girls are still really excited about the dates last night, and then they see them next day. They all get kisses on the cheeks. How sweet. And they thank them for a memorable night. Episode 7, Chilling Out. Noli and Squad are doing snow activities. I actually had these dolls. I don't remember having any of the later dolls, and I think I might have just aged out of them by that point. But, like, I don't really remember having any of the later dolls, but I had a lot of this first run of dolls. Like, I recognized a good amount of the outfits from these episodes. If not from, like, toy commercials, I definitely owned the snowboarding Barbie. I think what, I know I'm going back to what my parents did. My sister and I are 14 years apart. So really our doll enjoying together time was from about my age 4 until I was about 7 or 8. I think once my sister left middle school, they weren't buying dolls for her, but she would still play dolls with me. And so during that time period is really when I was playing with Bratz, not really Barbies. I didn't like the fashion of like straight up Barbies and MyScenes. And so we also got 3 dolls. Essentially it would be 1 doll per daughter, and then 1 doll for us to share so that we would have a friend. And, you know, every once in a while that friend would either be a Chelsea or one of the boys, Sutton, because we'd always get the the doll. And I think I had a River. So, like, I recognize a lot of this fashion as what, like, I'm like, oh, I know that. Again, I can't wait to go through my doll clothes box so that we can have a little trip down memory lane and discuss and look at why some of these things are so foundational to my memory. Again, this is in fact girl bossing through history, and we must start at our girl boss origins before we can go into our girl boss future and even girl boss present. Okay, back to episode 7. Noli and Squad are doing snow activities. Noli wants to set up Chels with the ski instructor. Chelsea then pretends to slide downhill and falls into the ski instructor and then goes, oh no, my ankle, it's hurt. And he's like, oh God, can I help you? And she goes, yeah, but like, you know, maybe you should stay and help me. And he's like, I fucking have to work, girly. And so she's like, it's fine, whatever. We're having a party at the lodge if you want to come. And he's like, yeah, probably not. At the party, Chelsea is tearing it up on the dance floor when he comes in and notes her uninjured ankle. End of episode. Okay. So these first like 7 episodes, really quick and not really setting anything up. Episode 8 is 14 minutes and 32 seconds. Nearly 4 times the length, nearly 3 times the length of the next longest episode at 5 minutes or so. So it is a long one. And the description of the video says that they combined a whole bunch of episodes that are labeled hanging out. So I think they might have been at some point, like they were released individually, but honest to God, they could have been, if they wanted to make it a full feature film, they could have attached this to the front of Jammin' in Jamaica and it probably wouldn't have changed anything. And I would have more information because holy crap, so much stuff, the stuff that I didn't understand from last video, fully answered in this video. The girls are hanging out at the coffee shop that I labeled Cold Place in my Jammin' in Jamaica video. Barbie is the planner. She just like puts things together and plans. We never know what like job or skill Barbie has, but she is worldly knowledged and is good at planning. I relate to that. I am also a planner. She's setting up, she sets up the boys to be in the beat to beat, and she's also setting up the guy's web page, and is making sure that everything is set up for them to, you know, have a really good web presence. She's gonna live stream the the performance, which we see at the start of the movie. She is making sure that the pre-show also has bits of the boys' personalities, of them like making little like, oh yeah, we love our fans, we're so excited to perform, ooh, go Urban Desire, that kind of stuff. She's setting all that up. She's also making sure that she's time managing everything for her friends to get together and get ready and all have a good time and it all work out seamlessly. I relate to that so hard. She has Noli on spread the word duty and to make sure people come to the to see the performance to support Urban Desire. Madison then has this dream. It's a vivid dream about someone, River, and is worried about seeing them. She doesn't immediately say this when she's talking to Barbie, thus our conflict from the movie. And you know, she's like worried about it being weird because it's like, what happens when you have a dream about someone where you kiss them and now you have to see them in person? Chelsea is making bracelets like she did in the movie, again, setting up the first movie. Her mom, however, is making her bring her cousin Delancey around with her because she's just moved to New York and she's kind of like, oh, she's ruining my life. And Delancey is also like, she's ruining my life, but the moment that Delancey is like, our moms are freaks for setting us up, Chelsea is immediately like, how dare you? How dare you? Which it's like, both of you need to chill, but, you know, go off, girl. We get a fucking transition. It is, like, you know, it's just, like, silhouettes of the girls, like, in, like, transitional colors, and it was across the screen. But we actually get some animation happening. Instead of just blinking and wide blue eyes, we are finally getting a fucking transition. Honestly, iconic. Barbie is setting up the live stream and a pre-show highlights from the band. It's giving Versus. It's giving 2020. River asks Barbie if she'll be his girlfriend. She's taken aback but is excited and says yes. Madison tells Noli about her weird romantic River dream. Madison toys with the idea of liking River, and now, and she's like, I'm gonna think about it. She goes to band practice with River. He's playing the song. He's playing a song, and just the idea of making out with him sounds so comical. It sends her into a fit of giggles, and she can no longer listen to him play a love song because it's just so funny, the idea of being romantically involved in him. So the Sutton goes to yoga with Noli, and a man that I don't know gets invited to the B2B. This is in fact just an NPC, unimportant. Noli goes to promote the show and socially, and then goes and looks for Ellis. We meet Delancey, a blonde with red stripes. She's a big surfer from LA, and she's making do with skating in New York. Think my school doesn't have a gymnastics program. This was a last resort. As far as her like attitude goes. Alice meets her and invites her to the show. She's like, yeah, I'll come to the show if I can shake off my cousin. She's like, bitch, you trying to get lost in New York? This is how people get kidnapped. So, Noli finds Ellis, and they're like, well, we don't have time to skate anymore. Time for you to go get ready for the show. See you at the show. Madison and... Okay, time to get ready for the show. Delancey goes to meet Chelsea. They complain about having to hang out together, and it's super awkward. Madison and Noli join the other girls, and Chelsea and Delancey as they get ready for the concert. They listen to Urban Desire to get Noli hyped on what she's going to hear. Madison tells Noli about laughing at River while watching him playing a romantic song. Noli has been pulling some vague Asian spiritualism recently. Like, they decide that that's her, like, thing. She's like, namaste, friendship, sports, yes. Boho chic, my god, mama house boots. Namaste, yoga, child's pose. Like, that's the kind of shit they're pulling with her. And she's like, well, floating in a dream shows that, you know, not romance, but like how perfect you are, like your dreams are so close. So obviously she takes that to mean like, yeah, we're gonna be successful in the B2B, and we know that they are. The floating, the dream signifies the success that Madison and River are going to have together as a band. Barbie finally shows up and tells them about River asking her out. They decide that she needs to show up there in her baddest outfit. She needs to be smoking hot. A smoke show even. Thus, the girls show up in the outfits that we see them again at the beginning of Jamaica. They show up to the venue. All of the guys... it's a sausage fest as all these guys that she's just been passively seeing in town as she gets ready are all at the venue thinking that it was a date specifically for them. She's like, oh god, we're gonna enter through the service gate. We're gonna just pile past that. Barbie gets AV set up with Sutton, and then the guys get up on stage, and they don't play Spontaneous Combustion. There's like an overlap between the end of this webisode, and the beginning of... I guess they could have been playing a different song, and Spontaneous Combustion was just the end of their set. But they don't play Spontaneous Combustion. They play some nondescript guitar-led song. And, you know, the girls are not dancing the way they were dancing before. And that's the end of the episode. Takes us directly into Jim in Jamaica. So, what have we learned? Madison and Sutton went on a date, but they are not dating. 2, episodes 1 through 7 are meaningless. That's kind of true. And they totally could have made episode 8 into the beginning of Jammin' in Jamaica, and I wish they had. 4, kids who watch the webisodes and then Jammin' in Jamaica, it must have seemed like so like special. It must have looked really cool because if you're already attached to these characters and then you see them in widescreen, I was gonna say you're gonna see them in HD, no, but you are gonna see them with a higher budget. And I joked and called that like sweeping shot of Barbie on the beach in the Jam in Jamaica, but like it really is like super like one of the most detailed shots in in like this entire webisode situation, because if you were watching them on Flash, it's just like 3 frames per second, repeated animation, and a lot of blinking. 5, episodes 1 through 7, those girls are just cardboard cutouts jiggling around. Episode 8 is like actually animated, and there's finally like a plot. It really sets up the movie quite well. So, I do have some thoughts that came to me while I was editing the Jammin' in Jamaica video that I didn't want to, I might still put it in a talking head, but I'm not sure, I wasn't sure at this point, but I just wanted to tell you all, if you stick around this long, Jammin' in Jamaica editing postmortem. There are so many repeated animation frames, like in the dancing, in the band singing, like I never paid attention until I wasn't hearing the lyrics and I was just looking at like the footage, and like the dancing, the way the boys lean into the microphone, all repeat animations. I found the songs from the first movie on Spotify. And why is Going Down in Flames by Hindle, the song they play at the end, the song I referred to as the most Weezer ass song you've ever heard, also about masturbation? I like had to like consult my sister and be like, hold up, wait a second, this is also about jerking off. It's like, I remember, we will get to it when we get to Masquerade Madness. Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But I remember specifically watching that movie like in the car because my minivan had a DVD player, and Chelsea says flirt, and my dad was upstantiated. How could she say that? How dare she say that? And now I'm just like, you're worried about the wrong thing. They are talking about masturbation and blowies. You're missing the forest for the trees, sir. You're missing the forest for the trees. So that came to me. Shout out to Tiff on Spotify with the MyScene's Jammin' in Jamaica playlist, which I hopefully will remember. I'm telling you, put it in the description, Megan. Because she has in her description, Ellis is hotter than River and Barbie is a mess. Because she ain't ever lie. Thank you, Tiff. Shout out again to the uploader of the episodes of the Webisodes, because I did not read their detailed description of each episode, but when I would go back and ask questions, they would always be answered by the description. I'm the problem here and I accept it. Okay. So I didn't watch any more episodes because I wanted to then watch on a whole different watch day, post all of this, watch the episodes preceding Masquerade Madness, and then watch Masquerade Madness, and then come back to it again until we get to our final set of movies. Okay. All right. I really enjoyed this. This was fun. This is hopefully going to be a quicker video for me. I feel like it is. I'm having a good ass time with this. I can't lie. This is a fun way to fill my time. I'm feeling very nostalgic as I reach my 25th year of being on this planet, and I just have a lot of feelies for things that were special to me in my development into the dumbass you see here today. If you want to hear me talk more about girl bossing through my past, through history, check out this playlist here. It has mostly a lot of longer videos, but if you're looking for something to sleep to, you should check it out. I have a soothing voice. No I sound like a bird, but who cares? You can also check out my Jamming in Jamaica video. I'm going to put that first in the playlist talking about my scenes. However, I feel like these two videos could be watched interchangeably as far as the timeline. If you're really wanting to see, so I talk about the webisodes before the movie, this probably should be first. But if you're coming into this the way I came into this, I think it's a little fun, a little quirky. If it's setting up me just being like, I know what's going on, and then fully not knowing what's going on. Because that's just how I live my day-to-day life. I'm still uncomfy filming on my other, on my other account. But it's like whatever. I gotta get more comfy with the idea. So my TikTok also has the same name. But I prefer, if you want to contact me, the socials that I'm gonna check are Megan_blush_ on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Especially Twitter. Like, you know, if you want to talk at me. I'm not sure I'll reply, but I will be overwhelmed socially. Yeah. Okay. I have an end card. Bye!